Good morning, everybody on YouTube. Steve here with Raiken Profit over at RaikenProfit.com, coming to you guys with another live show. And you may have noticed that over the last couple of weeks, I am on fire with these live shows. Been having a lot of fun doing these live shows and interacting with people and answering questions. So really happy to be here. Hopefully you guys are having a terrific day so far. The topic of today's video is how to sell books on Amazon FBA. A complete step-by-step tutorial. So I'm going to be breaking it all down for you guys today. I'm going to be breaking down each and every process, which is going to take you from, point A to point Z, point A to point B, whatever you want to say. And this is really going to be for the beginner. This is going to be for somebody who, maybe you've never sold books before, or maybe you've only been selling books for a little while and you want to step up your game and learn a few things. I've been selling books for a couple of years on Amazon FBA, and I've sold thousands of books. I've sold thousands of dollars worth of books. And I really do feel that I'm in a good position to get you started and to get you going, making money selling books on Amazon FBA. One thing I want to say real quick is, let me see real quick. We've got 14, 15 people watching live. I want to say thank you so much for watching live. I appreciate that. Real quick, I want to do a little mic test since this is a live show. I want to make sure that this is coming in properly. So let me make sure it's working on my other computer. All right, looks like the sound is working properly. Sounds good. If the video is coming in clear, crystal clear, let me know in the comment section. There is a comment section, a live comment feed going on right now. And if you see me looking this way, it's because I actually have, I'll show you, I have another computer set up right here. So I've got the comments right spank right there. It's right there. I see everything that's coming in. So I'm gonna be able to answer all the questions. What was I gonna say? I don't remember. Oh, yeah, there's a comment section on the left-hand side. So if you're on a desktop, take a look for that. If you're on a mobile device, go down below and you can check out the comments, leave a question, and I'll do my best to answer all the questions for you guys. But yeah, this is going to be a ton of fun. The topics we're going to be going through in today's show is, number one, setting up your Amazon FBA account and some things that you're going to want to look out for. Number two, choosing a scanning app to use on your smartphone. If I could show it to you, it's on the charger. Choosing a scanning app to use on your smartphone device. Number three, why FBA? Why FBA over selling as a merchant? Number four, talking about ranks and reviews. Number five, margins and fees when selling on Amazon FBA. Number six, where to start sourcing books from. There's quite a few different places that I go to source books. And number seven, equipment. So we're going to be talking about the various types of equipment that I use to be able to sell on Amazon FBA, and more specifically, some of the different types of equipment I use for selling books on Amazon FBA. Then we're going to open up the floor and just answer a few questions. So with that being said, let's dive into the first part of this 7-phase. We're going to be going through 7 phases of this live show. Number one, setting up your account. So when it comes to setting up your account on Amazon, it's pretty simple and straightforward. You're going to have to set up an Amazon seller account. So I don't know what the exact URL is off the top. Maybe somebody in the comments can drop it, but I believe it's if you just go to Google and type in Amazon seller account, you'll find the page. So pretty much what you're going to do is you're going to set up a login. You're going to set up a password. They're going to want you to put a credit card on file, and they're going to want you to input your tax information. So if you're going to be selling as a sole proprietor, you're going to just, put in your social security number. If you're going to be doing business under an LLC or, something like that, you're going to want to put in your EIN number, register with the state, get your business checking, get your EIN number, get all that stuff set up for liability issues and whatnot. And pretty much you'll be good to go. So, login, password, credit card on file. And you're going to want to, you're going to have to obviously put in your tax information, because if you sell a certain amount of money, I believe it is, I want to say if you sell $20,000 or more, or you do 200 transactions, I think both of them have to come in. I think you have to do at least 200 transactions and $20,000 in sales. Things may have changed. Be sure to look into the terms of services and the rules and kind of how it all works with Amazon. But if you do sell that much, you're going to get a 1099 from Amazon. So that's why you're going to need that tax information. But that's pretty much step number one. Sign up for your account, get it out of the way, put in your credit card, put all the information in, and you're going to have yourself a login and password. Number two, now that you've got your account all set up and you're ready to roll, what you're going to want to do is get yourself a scanning app. And if you're not sure what I mean by that, what I mean is there's actually applications out there now that you could put on your phone. There's a few very popular ones. One of the most popular ones Amazon's actually created, called the Amazon Seller app. You're going to want to download that to your phone. And pretty much what that app is going to allow you to do is scan barcodes. Now, why do you want to scan barcodes? The reason why you want to scan barcodes when dealing with books is because there's thousands and thousands of books out there. If you had to manually look up each book and type in the name or the title or type in the ISBN number for each and every book, it would take you forever. And one thing that you have to realize with books is it's a numbers game. You've got to scan, whether it's 15, 20, 30, 40 books to find one good one. Maybe more, maybe less. It depends if you're at a book sale or at a thrift store, where you're located in the country, but it's a numbers game. So what the Amazon Seller app allows you to do is speed up that process of analyzing the books. Essentially what you're doing is you're opening up your app. If you're using the Amazon Seller app, you open it up and you hit the scan button, and it's going to show like it's going to show like the camera being enabled, and you're going to put it over the barcode. And you're going to scan it, and pretty much what that app's going to do is share with you information about how many reviews is on the book, what's the seller rank, which we'll talk about a little later on. It's going to tell you what the book's selling for, how many sellers there are. It's going to give you a bunch of different pieces of information. So that's very imperative for your success. You need to get yourself a scanning app. There's a whole bunch of them out there. If you're brand spanking new, I'd recommend getting the Amazon Seller app. That would be the best one, the Amazon Seller app. If you're a little more advanced and you've got some more advanced equipment like a scan fob or a handheld barcode scanner, you may want to look at FBA Scan, which is what I use, which is a really good app, because if you're using like the scan fob, it's not going to work through the Amazon Seller app. So you don't have to fully understand that, but just know when you get to that point, you may want to step up your game. But I would highly recommend getting the Amazon Seller app. Good Used Goods says some of the best value books I got were from the lot were old books without a barcode. Yep. So one thing I want to say is if the book doesn't have a barcode, you're not going to be able to scan it, obviously. Now, there is a new thing that the Amazon Seller app has, which I believe is called Flow. I believe that's what it's called. And pretty much what it is you could scan the cover of the book. It somehow recognizes the cover, and it'll bring up the information that way. If that doesn't work, then you're going to want to open up the book to like the first or second page and look for the ISBN number, which typically starts with like a 978. Type that in, and you could find the information that way. If there's no ISBN, if you can't find that, you could try to put in the title, in the subtitle to find it that way. But I definitely agree with Good Used Goods in the comments saying that some of the best valued books you can get are the ones without a barcode. And the reason behind that is because most resellers are lazy. They want to just scan, scan, scan. They don't want to have to stop for a second, find the ISBN number inside the book, or, use Flow, or, manually type in the title. So that's a great tip right there from Good Used Goods. We've got Biohazard Picker in the house. What's going on, Adam? We got JD Flynn. We got Sherry, I believe. Hello, friends. What's going on? Switches 1866. Good to see ya. We got a lot of people in the house, in the beach. Rod Fredlund, Steve, any chance you could add book condition, grading description to the topics covered today? Yeah, we could definitely talk about that. I will write that down on my notes right now. So grading books and condition. All right, we'll talk about that. Thanks for the suggestion. So now that you've gone through the first few steps, you set up your account and you chose an Amazon Seller app. Again, I'd recommend just getting the Amazon Seller app at first. Down the road, you can look at FBA Scan, or if you invest in any other softwares like Inventory Lab, you could look into Scoutify. I know Scan Power has an app. there are quite a few apps out there, but I would just recommend starting with the Amazon Seller app. And one of the main reasons is because the information is going to be 100% accurate. With other scanning apps, they actually have to ping Amazon, and Amazon will only allow certain information to be sent over to the app. It's confusing. You don't have to worry about what I'm really trying to say, but just know if you scan with the Amazon Seller app, it's going to be 100% accurate. Whereas with other apps, it may be a little misleading just because of the rules Amazon sets forth for third-party companies to use their API. So with that being said, let's go on to number 3. Now that you've got your account set up, you've got the scanning app ready to go. Now you have to choose how you're going to sell your items. Now there's 2 main ways you're going to be able to sell your items on Amazon. It's not so cut and dry like people think. There's 2 different ways. There's one, selling it as a merchant, and then there's number 2, selling it through FBA. So first off, let's answer what is FBA. FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. Essentially what you're doing is you're taking your books that you want to sell on Amazon and you're sending them all off to Amazon, and then they're fulfilling the orders for you. So you choose the price, you choose the condition, just like any other type of gig like eBay or Etsy or whatever. You fill all that information out on the back end, and when you send it into Amazon, they store it for you, and when it sells, they ship it for you, they deal with customer service, and they cut you a check. So that's FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon. The first one was selling as a merchant. Now, when you sell as a merchant, it's traditional selling. You list your product, you store your product at your house. When it sells, you ship it out, you deal with customer service, you deal with the returns, you deal with all that stuff. To make this a short answer and not to go too deep into it, because I'm sure a lot of you folks already know about this. If not, do some more research into why FBA is so powerful. But I would go FBA all day long. Number one reason why, it's going to be able to allow you to save time and spend more of your time doing activities that are going to make you money, like sourcing and listing your items. You don't want to be spending all of your time shipping items, dealing with customer service, having to find your items, picking them, packing them, shipping them, doing all that stuff. It takes a long time. Take my word for it. I've been doing this for almost 3 years now. I've been a merchant. I've been FBA. I've got my mother into business. She used to be a merchant. Now she's FBA. FBA all the way. Trust me, you do not want to be wasting your time with merchant. Now, there are times in different scenarios where it may make sense for you, but if you've got a place to live and you're a busy guy or a gal, which I'm sure you are, you probably have a family, you may have a part-time job or a full-time job, you may be trying to spend time getting fit and healthy and in shape, do me a favor, look into FBA and go FBA all the way. Now, it is a process learning how to ship your first FBA shipment out to Amazon. All you're going to have to do is go to YouTube and type in Amazon FBA tutorial, how to ship Amazon FBA. And there's plenty of resources out there that will share with you every single step. If you are a Green Room member, which is a membership site that I run, you can go into the resources section, and we've actually created a free course for our members only, walking you through the entire process of shipping out your first Amazon FBA shipment. But just know you'll make more money, you'll save more time, and you'll be able to leverage and scale your business much quicker going through Amazon FBA. All right, let's go into the comments. Yep, so JC Heaven was asking, what is FBA? So hopefully that answer helped. Can you cover sending very expensive books in FBA, like how to pack it? Also, Amazon liable for getting it to the customer. If you're sending FBA, this is a cool thing. If a item gets damaged on the way to your customer and they leave you a negative feedback, you can get that removed instantly, because you could just blame it on Amazon FBA, because they're the ones who are dealing with the fulfillment. So that's really good right there. So that's a yes. And if you're sending in really expensive books, you could bubble wrap it. You could stretch wrap it. You could put it in another box and put a do not separate sticker on it, and then put that into your FBA box to ship off. If it's very expensive, yeah, spend a little extra time to protect the book. So now that we've talked about the first 3 steps, let's talk about rank and reviews. And we're actually going to do a little screen share right now. So let's hold on one moment, and we're going to screen share Amazon so I can show you firsthand what exactly you are going to be looking at. So hold on for one moment. We're going to set up the screen share. Okay. Great. So you should be able to see my screen right now. And we are on Amazon.com. And I just typed in accounting textbook to show as an example. And when you are selling books, the number one thing that you want to be looking for is the Amazon seller rank. Now, what is rank? Well, I've actually got a Chrome extension right now that shows the rank right here. Typically, like for example, this Fundamentals Accounting Principles 20th edition. Typically, you'd have to go into the listing to see the rank, but I have a Chrome extension right here. So the rank is 41,474, and I'll show you just as an example. One moment. Okay, I'll show you as an example where you could find the rank. So if you're on the listing and you're on a desktop, of course, you're going to want to go down to product details. And as you can see, it says Amazon bestseller rank 41,474 in books. Just know the ranks are going to be different per category. So if you're selling video games, the rank's going to be based on the video game category. If you're selling toys, it's going to be in the toy category. If you're selling home products, it's going to be in the home category. But for this example, just realize if you're selling books, it's going to be under the book category. So what is the rank? The rank essentially is a snapshot in time of the last time the book has sold. So the lower the rank, the more often the book is selling. The higher the rank, the how do you say it? The less the book is selling, or it's I'm not the best with describing this, but I'm trying to put this into an easy for you to understand explanation. The lower the rank, the faster it's selling, or the earlier it's sold. Like for example, 41,000 rank, the book, it's probably selling, a couple times a day, maybe more, maybe less. Who knows? Nobody really knows exactly how the algorithm works for the rank. If the rank was maybe 1,000,000, maybe the book hasn't sold for a month, 2 months. It's one of those things you have to get a feel for. But really, what it is just a snapshot in time in terms of the last time the book has sold. So when I look at a rank, for me, I say, okay, so the book's, it's a fast seller or it's a slow seller. It's either a quick flip or it's long tail. When it comes to books, I like to stay under 1,000,000 rank for books. So if you have 1,000,000 rank, in my opinion, maybe it's selling once a month or once every couple months. If it's a 500,000, it's probably selling maybe once a couple times a month, maybe 3 or 4 times a month. If it's under 100,000, it's probably selling maybe once or twice a day. If it's under 50,000, it's probably selling maybe 5 or 6 times a day. These are just rough estimates. Some people are going to say, Steve, you're way off. Some people are going to say, Steve, you're dead on. But it's one of those things that you're going to have to just get a feel for. But just know the lower the rank, the quicker the seller, the higher the rank, the slower the seller. But rank doesn't mean everything. I know I'm kind of contradicting myself right now, but rank doesn't mean everything. And let me explain why. For example, you may have a book that is 1,000,000 rank, right? And you might think to yourself, okay, this book maybe only sells once every month or two, so I'm not going to buy it. It's a slow seller. But what if somebody buys that book tomorrow or today? That rank could drop down to 100,000, right? It's a snapshot in time. That's all it is. It's a snapshot in time. You could have a 5,000,000 ranked book and you might say, that's crap. I'm passing on it. It's not good. But maybe 2 people buy it in the same day for one reason or another. Maybe a certain class requires that book. Maybe 2 or 3 people buy it. Boom, 50,000 ranks. So it's deceiving. It doesn't mean everything. It doesn't mean everything when you're dealing with rank. So it's tough to explain it, but just know rank is very important when it comes to analyzing your deals. But rank isn't everything. Another thing I like to look at is the reviews right here. So average customer review. The more reviews, the better. So, there could be a book that's a 2,000,000 rank, 3,000,000 rank, but if it's got 100, 200 reviews, I know that it's popular, that people have purchased it in the past. And you can also take a look at the star rating to see what people actually said about it. So those are 2 very, very, very important things to be looking at when you are looking at a book. You want to look at the rank and you want to look at the reviews. If a book is ranked at 3 or 4 million, really high, which means who knows when the last time that book is sold, and it's got no reviews, I'm going to probably pass on it. I want to buy books that are good products that people have purchased in the past, that are popular, that have good reviews. And typically I want to stay within, under 1,000,000 rank, 2,000,000 rank. I'll buy them 3, 4 million rank, but the margins have to be there. So I want you to take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt, because it's not super cut and dry. I can't explain, exactly every little in and out of selling books within, 45 minutes or 1 hour. I wish I could, but I really just want to introduce you to a few of the concepts right here. When it comes down to, these subcategory ranks, don't worry about it. Just worry about the main rank under the books category. So we have 51 people watching live. I want to thank everyone for watching live. If you're enjoying this content so far, do me a big favor, guys. If you're enjoying these free videos, smash that like button. Hit the like button right now. We've got 50 people watching live who are interested in learning how to sell books on Amazon FBA, or maybe they want to step up their game. Smash that like button, guys. It's right underneath the number of people watching right now. Let's get it up to 30, 40 likes right now. And that'll help me to let me know I'm doing a good job. And it'll also help to get these videos pushed out to other people on YouTube as well. So if you like it, hit the like. If you don't like it, feel free to hit the dislike button. I'm not stopping anybody from sharing your opinion. If there's something I could do to improve these videos, or if I say something and you're like, I don't agree, drop a comment. That's what it's all about. This is an open discussion. I'm not closing anybody off. So if you like it, hit the like. If you don't, let me know what I could do to improve it. All right, guys. So the next thing that we're going to be talking about is margins and fees. And I'm going to take off this screen share real quick. Okay, you should be able to see me now. What's going on, everybody? Margins and fees, very, very important. Let's talk about margins. You want to make sure that if you're investing in a book, that there's enough money to be made. You don't want to be investing in books that are only going to make you 50 cents or $1, especially if you're brand spanking new, because you want to build up your confidence and you want to be able to build up some profits as well. Now, there's a lot of different business models out there. I've got a buddy, Greg Murphy, who actually sells penny books as a merchant, but that's a whole completely different business model. He's selling thousands of books. He's getting gaylords of books in. And if you're wondering what a gaylord is, look it up. It's actually real and it's a lot of books. You want to focus on books that have enough margins in there for you, especially when you're brand spanking new, because there's a few things that may happen, and there's a few things you have to understand. When you sell a book, you're going to get hit with some Amazon seller fees. When you sell through Amazon FBA, you're going to get hit with storage fees. When you ship to Amazon FBA, you're going to get hit with some shipping expenses. You're going to have supplies to cover you that you're going to have to pay for, equipment that you're going to have to invest in. If you sign up for the pro account, you're going to have yourself a $40 payment per month with Amazon. You don't have to, but down the road, you're going to want to do it. I would recommend starting with the free account. You're going to have gas to get to the various locations that you source. So you're going to have some overhead. It's not a ton of overhead, but you want to make sure that the margins are there, especially when you're brand spanking new. When you get a little more advanced and you've been in the game for a couple of years, you can mess with books that only make you $1, $2, $3, but you're going to have a better understanding of ranks, reviews, your business model. So just make sure the margins are there. Typically, if I'm buying a book for like $1, I typically won't go for a book that's less than like $8 or $9. If you're new and you're spending $1 or $2 on a book, I would keep it at 10 to 12 to 14 bucks as your minimum. And that's just going to guarantee you that there's going to be money left for you, even if you make a pricing mistake, or even if you get undercut, which is going to happen with other resellers, or if you have to wait it out. So definitely make sure there's enough margins there. Now, when you're scanning with your Amazon seller app or any other app, only compare the prices against the the FBA prices. So if you're selling as an Amazon FBA seller, don't compare the lowest price to merchant. Now, there's times where that's going to take into consideration, especially with longer tail books. If you have merchants are starting at $9 and the first FBA is 100 and it's a 5 million rank, no one's ever going to pay that much. So in that scenario, that would make sense to compare it against a merchant. But if you have books that are under 1 million, fast turning books that people are buying and selling, you want to compare your price against the FBA sellers, and you're going to be able to get more money as an FBA seller, primarily because people want to buy from Amazon. There's fast shipping, easy customer service, and you're going to get that prime. The prime buyers are going to get that 2-day shipping. So you want to make sure to compare against the FBA, but just know when it comes to buying and selling books, make sure the margins are there, especially when you're new. Make sure you can make at least $4 or $5. That's my recommendation, because there are going to be some expenses, obviously, seller fees, equipment, subscription costs, shipping fees, stuff like that. So if you're using the Amazon seller app, you can actually set it. Like when you're in your settings, you can actually set like a shipping cost and whatnot. And when you scan books, it'll actually show you how much money you'll make, and then you can put in your cost of goods. So definitely mess around with the Amazon seller app. If you're not sure how to use it, look up Raiken Profit Amazon seller app, and I've got a video on that. Biohazard Picker says, I will pick up books for a 50-cent profit, but only if the rank is steady and low. But exactly, Adam, I won't necessarily go that low. But Adam, you've been in the game for a while. I'm talking to more of the new people. I would not recommend, if you're brand spanking new, to be looking to make a 50-cent profit. It's not going to work out for you, and it's not going to build up your confidence. But rank is very important. Bliss says, I sell only Southern California's finest goods, from electronics, retro games, Jordans, and dead stock sneakers. Congratulations. WGI says, what's the best cheap light source setup for eBay? Just go to eBay and just type in, studio lighting setup. Look for the ranks. Look at the low ranks and the high reviews. There's a lot of really good ones out there. Bliss says, Raiken, you are the man. You the man, Bliss. Okay, so let's see what's going on. I'd love to do a show with you, JD, but I'm pretty busy. I've actually got a green room conference call right after this live show, but maybe another time, JD. Looking at the comments, DJ Boy says, where do you get your boxes or envelopes in your carrier? My mother actually works at a convalescent home, so she gets me a lot of boxes for free. If not, I will usually go to Walmart or Lowe's or Home Depot to get boxes. Let's see. Raiken likes the word spanking. What? Oh man, Scott Fitzgerald, you got it. What about selling a foreign book? David asks. I've seen different sellers. Do I need to post on that Amazon foreign site separate? I don't know exactly what you mean by that, David, but just find the listing. So if you're selling books, essentially what you're going to be doing is piggybacking on somebody's listing. So if you scan the barcode and it's coming up with that listing and it's the same book, same title, I would just list it under that. I'm not sure if I fully understand your question though, David, so I apologize for that. JC Heaven says, minimum you can sell dealing with used books. If you're going FBA, you're not going to make any money if you're under like $6. So even if you get the book for free and you sell it for like 5 or 6, typically you're not going to have much money left on the plate after fees and whatnot. But it really depends on the weight of the book. If you have a really tiny little book that doesn't have much weight and it's small in size, the fees are going to differ. If you have a really big, heavy book, the fees are going to be a lot more versus a tiny little thin, light book. But usually, even if you get the book for free, you're going to have a hard time making money over like $5 if you're selling the book. Yeah, somebody was asking about the Chrome extension. Somebody said DS Amazon Quick View. So I believe that's what it is. If you want to be able to look at the Amazon listings without going into the product page to see the rank, I believe it's called the Chrome extension is DS Amazon Quick View. I don't know if that's free or not. I don't remember. FBA, you can sell 50 books a day and not have to mail them merch selling. I think what Derek's saying is you could really, you could sell 50 books a day and you don't have to worry about anything if you're FBA. Imagine if you sold 50 books as a merchant. Imagine how much time it would take you to be able to locate all the books, to package them all up, to print out the labels, to, drop them off at the post office or have your courier come pick it up. I mean, it's a lot of time right there. So again, DJ Boy's asking why FBA and not merchant. Time is the biggest thing. Number two, they're going to sell faster because people want to buy from Amazon through Prime, and you're going to make more money. You're going to make more money all day long and be able to scale your business and spend time doing things that are important. You're not growing your business when you're shipping out products. If you're selling as a merchant, you're not growing your business when you're fulfilling your orders. You're maintaining your business. If you want to grow your business, you're going to have to source more and list more. That's what you want to be focusing your time on. Okay, so again, 64 people watching live. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone, for watching live. Hopefully, you are enjoying the show. Smash that like button. Hit the like button. If you're in the comments, say hello. Say hello. Let everybody know what's going on. All right. Appreciate all the likes. 29 likes in the house. Thank you. Scott Fitzgerald says, do you shrink wrap your books or polybag them? I typically don't do either. I typically just throw them in the box. If it is an expensive book, you know, if it's over 40, 50 bucks, I'll typically maybe bubble wrap it or stretch wrap around it to protect it a little bit. But I've sold thousands and thousands of books, and I never polybag them or bubble wrap them ever, like ever, unless it's like a really high-end book. And if you talk to other booksellers, they don't as well. So have I had any issues with this? No, I never have. You know, and the cool thing is if a book gets damaged, which you don't want to, you know, I don't want this to sound wrong, but if a book does get damaged, you get a negative feedback. You can easily get it removed through FBA. But if I felt at all the slightest inclination that by doing this, that my books, that I was affecting the condition and actually hurting the sale, I'd stop doing it. But I haven't had any problems. Do you put the label on the outside? Yes. When you print out your FN SKU, which is a label you're going to have to put on your book, you're going to put it over the barcode. If there's two barcodes, take another label, a blank one, and put it over the other one to exit out. Yeah, I mean, you could bubble wrap and polybag your books, but it's going to take you so much longer. You might not think it will, but it will. It will take you a lot longer, and it's going to be more of an expense. And it's, for me, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. All right, guys, let's keep moving on. So we talked about setting up your Amazon account. We talked about getting yourself a scanning app. We talked about why FBA over merchant. We talked about, and I've got my notes here, ranks and reviews. We've talked about margins and fees. Now let's talk about starting to source. So you've gone through all 5 of these steps. You're ready to roll. You understand rank. You understand the fees. You've got your Amazon seller account up. I've convinced you that you've got to go the FBA route. You understand that there's got to be, you know, enough meat on the bone, margins. Now you're thinking to yourself, well, Steve, now where do I go to be able to source books? You know, everything up to now I understand, but where do I source books? There's a lot of different places you can go to source books, and there's an abundance of books out there. Walk into any thrift store in America and tell me what's the number one thing that you see. There's going to be 2 things that you're going to see: books and clothing. The most abundant items you're going to find at any thrift store in America, typically. Um, Books, they're all over the place. Thrift stores are probably one of my favorite places to get books. Number 2 would be book sales, although there's going to be a lot of competition. So thrift stores and book sales. There's a website called booksalefinder.com, I believe, and you'll be able to find local book sales in your area, whether it's church sales or library sales or just random sales for various causes and whatnot. But book sales are great. Thrift stores are great. Also, garage sales are awesome. Now, you're not typically going to find books at all garage sales. Maybe 1 out of 10, you'll find some decent books. But I find textbooks very often at garage sales. And the cool thing about G sales are you can get these items dirt cheap. Probably the cheapest way you're going to get books are garage sales and book sales. Thrift stores are going to typically be a little more expensive depending on where you live. I did go to certain places in California. I live in Connecticut that were selling books for a dime a quarter. I never see that pretty much anymore. Typically, it's $1, $2, $3 or more for a book. But thrift stores are going to be probably the most expensive. Cheapest routes are going to be the book sales and the thrift stores. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to a thrift store, pull out your scanning app in your phone, and just start scanning books. Just start scanning, analyzing the books, looking at the rank, looking at the reviews, looking at the condition. And that's going to be a good segue into the question that somebody had earlier talking about grading books and condition. If the book's got a good amount of wear, if it's got highlighting, if there's a lot of bends in it, if it's just not in the greatest condition, I'll put it in acceptable condition. So there's a few different conditions you can put your books in. The options that Amazon gives you, it's acceptable, there's good. So first one's acceptable. Number 2 is good. Number 3 is very good. Number 4 is like new. And number 5 is new. If the book's got highlighting, a good amount of highlighting in it, if it's got, you know, a lot of creases, or if it's got some rips, or it just looks all beat up, if it looks like something that someone might get and say, holy crap, this is a piece of junk, or if you feel like someone's giving it for a gift and they might be disappointed, like the person who gets it, just go acceptable. There's a rule that I like to go by, and it's under promise and over deliver. So if you think the book just might be good, it might get away as good, go with acceptable, right? Same goes with going from good to very good to like new. Always under promise and over deliver. So, if the book's in decent shape and, maybe there's a little wear and tear, a little cosmetic issue, but nothing big, I'll go good condition. If the book's in great shape, really nice, but it looks like it's been used a little bit, I'll go very good. The book looks brand spanking new, but it doesn't have the stretch wrap. It looks like no one's used it. It's crisp. There's no writing. There's nothing in it. I'll go like new, but very, very rarely do I ever go like new. And if the book has a stretch wrap on it, the shrink wrap, whatever it's called, and it's brand spanking new, it's got the tag on it, the price, everything, I'll go new. But typically, my books are going to be sold as good. There's some people who always do very good, but again, I like to under promise and over deliver. Good Use Good says I have all conditions saved under Google Docs and just copy paste for the item description. Maybe have to add a sentence or two, but saves huge time. Yeah, I've got the same thing with Inventory Lab. You're able to save different templates and whatnot. So that's Inventory Lab, but that's a little more advanced. Bliss is asking, what about vintage books with no UPC, and what year should I look for? Raiken, you bookmaster. I'm not a bookmaster, guys. I'm really not a bookmaster. I'm just a guy who scans books and understands rank, reviews, margins, and whatnot. By no means am I a book guru or a bookmaster. When it comes to what books to look for, odd, unique books, textbooks are really good. Interesting subject matter, stuff about animals, how to ride horses, like just weird, unique things, how to build a birdhouse, like just weird, abstract, unique types of subject matter do very, very well. And typically you could just tell. It comes with experience, but typically you can just tell. Okay. Do you use photos for listings at any time to support condition? No, I typically don't. I typically just piggyback on the listing, and if it has some issues, I'll put it in the description, and I will choose the appropriate condition, whether it's acceptable, good, very good, like new, or new. But I typically don't use any photographs on my Amazon listings. What's going on, Golden Finger Picker? Good to see you. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you stopping by. In the sun by the beach, as Amazon has very specific condition guidelines. The easiest way to find the guidelines is to Google it. Great suggestion right there. Google it. Google the condition guidelines. Let's see. Maybe I am not clear. I noticed on foreign books there, Amazon.com and Amazon.com.fr, the same book listing, different sellers. I'm not 100% sure about that. I always list under Amazon.com. I don't list under any of the other what am I trying to say? Under like the UK Amazon or like the other ones. So I don't know the answer to that, David. So maybe someone else knows, but sorry about that, man. Xavier is saying fill a bag, $10 all day. If you can get fill a bag sales, you can make a killing with books. Good Use Good says if it's a mass market paperback, it won't scan right in the back barcode. Check the insides for the back cover for a barcode. Okay, so yeah, I was just going through some of the questions. So yeah, we covered how to source, where to go. Again, thrift stores are the best, probably the most easiest way. Book sales and garage sales, probably the most common ways to find books. But there's an abundance of books out there, guys, so just start going. Let's talk about equipment. What equipment will you need? So I'm going to do a screen share with you guys real quick and show you some of the equipment that I recommend that you guys get. So bear with me for one moment as I do a screen share. Okay. All right, there you go. So you should be able to see my screen right now, and I'm just going to update my comment feed real quick to answer any questions if they're coming through. So here we are on Amazon.com. Let's talk about some of the equipment that you're going to need. First off, you're going to need a smartphone. I'd probably recommend either going with the iPhone. This is the phone that I have right now. I have the Note 4. But to be honest with you, this phone's pissing me off like crazy lately. It's having a lot of issues with the app and whatnot. So I would not recommend going with the Note 4 after using it for about a year or two. It worked good for a while, but this phone is really getting under my skin, and it's having a lot of issues with the app. It takes longer to scan. If you're going to go with a phone to scan, I've come from the Android world. I would go, honestly. This is the phone I'm going to get. I'm going to get I'm getting this phone right here. I'm going to be getting it within the next few days. I'm going to get the Apple iPhone SE Plus. I'm going to get the 64 gigabyte right here, and I'm going to get the Plus, the bigger version with the bigger screen. I like the bigger screen because it's going to allow you to be able to easily see what you're doing. And it just, I don't know, I like it for watching videos and whatnot. But I've seen my buddies with iPhones, it scans, literally, it scans twice as fast using an iPhone versus the Note 4. I don't have the Galaxy. Someone's saying the Galaxy S7 Edge all day. So there's people who swear by it, but the Note 4 is driving me absolutely insane. Somebody also mentioned a PDA, which you can go with a PDA, something like this. This is something that I used to use, like the Dell Axum 51. There's not really many listings for it here, but this is the Dell Axum 51. And essentially what you're doing is connecting a scanner to the top of this, and this is working off of a database. So what you're doing is you're not actually going through the internet. You're accessing a database which you have downloaded previously, which holds all of the information. It's not going to be as accurate as the other ones, but for the most part, it'll do the job. It'll scan quicker, and you won't have to rely on the internet. So that's another option right there. But I'm using the phone. Most people have a smartphone, but I would recommend going with the iPhone for sure, which is what I'm going to be going with. Next piece of equipment that you're going to want is a barcode scanner. You're going to want a barcode scanner. I have a generic one. It works well. Let me see, a USB barcode scanner. That's what I meant to say. Cool. So something like this is a wireless one. I'm just trying to find a generic one. I mean, any generic one. I'm not recommending this one. I don't know right off the top which one I have, but you're going to want a little barcode scanner like this, because when you go to list your items onto Amazon, instead of having to type in each title, you're just going to scan it. You're just going to scan it in. So get yourself a USB scanner. Just find a generic one with a good rank and good reviews on it, and it should definitely do the job. Next thing you're going to want to look into, if you're more advanced, I'd recommend getting some type of handheld scanner, like a scan fob. This is the one that I use. Really, really quick. It's pricey. It's $279, but this thing will save you so much time when you're scanning books. If you're brand new, I wouldn't worry about this. You don't need to have this when you're brand new. And this is a little more pricey. There's other scanners out there that are cheaper. There's other ones out there that are cheaper, but this is the one that I use, and it allows me to scan probably about 3 or 4 times faster than a phone, especially if I've got it all set up properly and whatnot, and my phone leaning up against the bookshelf, or the scanner connected to the back of my phone. This thing scans really, really fast. Let's see. Here is a let's see. Here's a software that I use called Inventory Lab. And I'm not going to go into this right now, but this is what I use to list my items. It just makes it a lot quicker. This is going to cost you $50 a month, but it'll allow you to be able to track your inventory. It'll give you reports, tax information, accounting, and it'll really allow you to be able to list your books faster. So that's another software that I use. And those are pretty much just the main pieces of equipment that you're going to need. Obviously, you're going to need a computer or a laptop, the USB scanner. I'm going to take this off a screen share right now. A laptop, a cell phone, a scanner, the scanning app. If you want to get the scan fob or something like that to speed up your process. Inventory Lab when you're more advanced to speed up your listing process. Obviously, you're going to need boxes. You're going to need tape. You're going to need poly bags every once in a while, bubble wrap every once in a while, and a printer. A printer is really important as well, because when you're sending out your items to Amazon FBA, you're going to have to print out a label for the actual item so that Amazon could scan your item and know what it is and the price and everything. So that's called an FN SKU. And you're going to need some bigger labels to post up on the outside of your box for UPS, which is the carrier you're going to be using, because you're going to get a discounted rate. Which service do you use that has an accurate database? I actually use FBA Scan, which through a seller tool, which has an accurate database. It's the one I'm using is the Pro account, which is about $40 per month. But there's some other ones out there as well. What's going on, Texas Scout Treasures? Good to see you, Margaret. I was actually on Margaret's YouTube channel the other day for a very fun and entertaining live show. So be able to So be sure to check out Texas Scout Treasures on YouTube. What scanner do you use for your phone? Do you recommend? I use the Amazon Seller app to double check all my work. I use FBA Scan when I'm using my scan fob. I also use Inventory Lab when I'm scanning shoes and clothing. But those are the three main ones that I use. But typically, you know, Amazon Seller app is going to work best for you unless you're using a scan fob. Let's see what other questions that we have. So it looks like those are the only questions that are coming in right now. I'm just looking at the other screen. Again, guys, if you enjoyed this live broadcast, smash that like button. If you learned something, let me know if you guys learned anything in the comment feed. If you have any more questions, I'm going to be hanging out with you guys for a couple more minutes, and then I've got to get running. Scott Fitzgerald says, does FBA Scan have sound notifications? Yes, it does. It actually has different notifications when you scan something that's profitable or you scan something that has some type of issue or isn't profitable. You can set up little alerts, which is pretty cool. I used to use Profit Bandit, Scott, but I haven't used it in years, so I can't really give you any feedback. Scott says every time I have checked Profit Bandit or Scoutify or whatever, it's always really inaccurate. Well, you have to understand that Scoutify, FBA Scan, you know, all the third-party scanning apps out there, they're having to ping Amazon's API. What that means in non-nerdy terms is, you know, if you own a scanning company, for you to get the information about what the price of a book is going for, you have to get the information from Amazon. So what you're literally doing is you're pinging Amazon's API, their database, and then you're gathering the information and collecting it and bringing it back to your app. So if you're the owner of, you know, FBA Scanner, you're the owner of Scoutify, you're having to rely on Amazon's information to bring it back. The problem is Amazon only allows you to have certain amounts of information to be collected. So sometimes the information appears to be inaccurate because they're only allowed to give you certain amounts of information. So my suggestion is, whether you're using Scoutify, FBA Scan, Scan Power, always double check your work with the Amazon Seller app to make sure that the price is correct. Question: how long would you hold on to payments Amazon sent you for lost damaged items? I had a $600 payment because they claimed they lost a bunch of items. I don't fully understand that question. How long would you hold on to payments? I don't really understand that question. So maybe somebody else in the comments understands it better than I do. Sorry, good used goods. I mean, you're always going to deal with issues. There's going to be returns, reimbursement, stuff like that, but they'll just take it out of your Amazon account. So I don't know what you mean by holding on to Amazon payments. I mean, when a payment is given to you, it goes into your checking account, right? Or however you have it set up. So, I mean, hold on to it. I'm not really sure what that means. But that looks like it is about it for the questions, guys. So I want to say thank you to everybody who watched. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this live show. Again, we covered how to set up your Amazon account, talked about the different Amazon seller apps to use and the ones that I use, talked about why I sell on FBA over merchant. We talked about ranks and reviews and why they're important. We talked about margins, how it's crucial to your success to have enough margins and to understand that there are fees and overhead associated with your book selling business. We talked about sourcing books from thrift stores, garage sales, and book sales. And last but not least, we talked about the various pieces of equipment that you can use to be able to start and grow an Amazon book selling business. So again, guys, I want to thank everybody for watching live. If you have any more questions, leave a comment below after the show. I'll do my best to get back to you. If not, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Raiken Profit. And I'm doing a lot of these live shows lately on various subject matter. So if you want to grow a business, make some extra side cash, I want to let you know that it is possible to do so. And I've been doing it for years, and there's thousands of others who are doing it as well. So yeah, I appreciate it. If you guys want some free resources, go over to RaikenProfit.com/products, and I've got some free books for you. Also in the description, you can get a free book called 100 Amazing Items to Resell, which is a book that I've created with the Green Room, which is a membership site that I run. It is a paid membership site. If you're interested in getting around like-minded resellers to grow your business, to get your questions answered, and just to, you know, be able to just meet people who, you know, are doing what you want to do to grow with them, check out greenroomuniversity.com. But again, get the free book in the description. Check that out, RaikenProfit.com. But yeah, hopefully you all have a great day. Keep on picking and making that money, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.